why no military on Earth could survive invading the United States. Very curious to check this video out. Before we do, appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. Let's see what we got.
Picture every country as a medieval castle, complete with towering walls, secret traps, and all sorts of defenses to protect the crown.
Right.
In this scenario, the United States stands out as the toughest castle in the world.
Okay.
So, when someone asks, what would it really take to invade the United States?
A lot.
It opens up a fascinating conversation about how geography, demographics, and military strength come together to make the US one of the hardest countries to invade in modern history.
See, I know the US is very stocked up on, they spend a lot on their military. Do you know what I mean? But their geography wise, and then they got the mountains and stuff, but they do have countries below and above, so.
But to understand why invading America is so difficult, we need to start with what makes invasions successful in the first place.
See, normally I thought when it comes to invasions, I thought the harder it is, the more water is surrounded. So like the UK is fully water. You know what I mean? Like Australia, borders or water. So I'd think that's completely harder. But then again, all three of them go together, so.
Military historians point to several key factors.
Right.
The element of surprise, manageable supply lines, and crucially, the ability to establish a foothold and expand from there.
Yeah, see, that's the hardest part, right?
It just so happens that America's unique geographic position eliminates almost every advantage that has made invasions in the past possible.
Wait, yeah, but I know America's got the water either side, but like north and south. Like if someone was crazy enough to invade America, could they not just go from Mexico or Canada?
In the past possible. Let's start with the most obvious barrier, the oceans. The United States sits between two of the world's largest bodies of water. The Atlantic Ocean stretches roughly 3,000 miles to Europe, while the Pacific spans an even more formidable 5,000 miles to Asia.
Right.
But it's not just about distance. It's about what that distance means for a would-be invader. You see, modern naval warfare depends heavily on supply chains, fuel, and the ability to maintain communication across vast distances. Any naval force attempting to cross—
Oh my God, I know this is off topic. I thought it was naked. I was thinking, what is going on in this Navy ship, bro? What is it?
Either ocean to invade America would be operating at the extreme limits of its logistical capabilities.
Okay, what is this refueling?
Consider this. The D-Day invasion, one of the most successful amphibious assaults in history, involved crossing just 100 miles of the English Channel. Roughly speaking, it required approximately 156,000 Allied troops, around 5,000 ships, and months of preparation.
Yeah, 100 miles across. That's a lot shorter than the 5,000 we're talking about with the ocean.
All supported by established bases in Britain.
Right.
Now imagine scaling that operation across 3,000 to 5,000 miles of open ocean, with no friendly territory to stage from.
Yeah, the thing is, America's just going to meet you midway through there. And America, you know, like I said earlier, they spend a lot of money. They got good equipment. Like, they're going to meet you there with some force.
The logistics behind such an invasion become even more daunting when you consider detection.
Right.
Modern satellite surveillance, radar networks, and maritime patrol aircraft make it virtually impossible to move large naval forces without anybody noticing.
They gotta know.
Any invasion fleet would be spotted days, if not weeks, before reaching American shores.
Wait, how long would it actually take to cross the ocean by ship? Would it take weeks?
U.S. forces more than enough time to prepare defensive
it'd be quicker than
positions.
weeks.
But what about launching an invasion from neighboring countries? After all, the United States shares borders with Canada and Mexico.
Yeah.
Surely that creates vulnerability, right?
See, that's what I was talking about at the start of the video. I thought, like, you know, when we're talking about geography, the hardest places to invade is if you're surrounded fully by water.
Unfortunately for any invader, they're deeply integrated into American military and economic systems. Canada is a NATO member and one of America's closest security partners. Mexico, while not in NATO—
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I get that. So we are, okay, I thought, you know, with this, we was going to talk out the box, kind of, right? So we wasn't going to realize that Canada's got good ties with America and, you know what I mean? So, yeah, if we're talking about, like, today's world, right? Well, yeah, Canada's not going to let you go to Canada to invade America.
NATO has extensive military cooperation agreements with the U.S.
Right.
and depends heavily on American trade. For any
Oh, yeah, well, if you can't go through Mexico and you can't go through Canada, GG's, yeah, you're not getting to America.
Hostile nation to use these countries as invasion routes,
Right.
they would first need to conquer or coerce them. In other words, they would essentially have to launch 2 separate military campaigns before even reaching American territory.
Not happening.
This would require force projections of unprecedented scale and would trigger immediate American response.
Yeah, they would.
But let's imagine, hypothetically, that all of that somehow became possible. Even then, the geographic challenges are staggering.
Okay.
An invasion from the north would have to cross the Canadian Shield, a massive area of rocky terrain and forests, then navigate the Great Lakes region. The US military could easily cut supply lines by controlling key transportation hubs like Winnipeg or Thunder Bay, effectively isolating any northern advance. From the south, invaders would face a large concentration of American military power.
Okay.
Recent deployments have placed thousands of American troops along the Mexican border. Any large-scale military movement would once again be detected immediately.
Yeah,
and the
it's not
attacking
looking
force
good.
would have to advance through some of the most challenging terrain in North America, including the Sonoran and Chihuahuan deserts.
See, I think this is what I'm forgetting as well. I'm forgetting again how big America is. Like, even if you do invade Mexico and you're on Mexico, like you're in Mexico and you're trying to go that way, mate, America's massive. It's going to take ages.
But here's where America's defensive advantages become even more pronounced. Let's say the invading force somehow established a foothold on American soil.
I know what's coming next. Not only you're going to have to fight the military, but you're going to have to fight the civilians. And honestly, I actually think the American civilians, they're going to, yeah, it's going to be tough. I think from you guys that I speak to, yeah. Crazy. Good luck.
They would immediately confront
beautiful.
what you could call a natural defensive line.
Right.
The United States is essentially divided by a series of geographic barriers that would force any invading army to fight for every mile of advance.
Okay.
The Rocky Mountain chain runs like a spine through the western part of the country, creating natural choke points that favor America.
Interesting. See, you don't really see it this way, do you? Like I don't when I think about military, right? So like if people did invade this side of America, right, and it was here, but then the military would like hold this ground. Like, you know, like when I see like military documentaries and stuff, you always see them getting pushed back and that, right? So like, let's say America did happen to get pushed back for some reason. Yep. And they're here. It would be very easy to hold this line, is what they're saying, because they'll have the high ground, they'll be in the mountains, they'll be, you know what I mean? So
the Mississippi River system divides the country into distinct regions,
right,
each requiring separate river crossings under fire.
Interesting.
Military history shows us how devastating river crossings can be. During the Civil War, battles like Fredericksburg and Antietam demonstrated the enormous casualties that result from forced river crossings against prepared defenses.
Oh, wow.
Now imagine attempting such crossings against modern military technology.
Yeah, but I was going to say, is it easier to do the attack as well because of modern technology or not? But then again, like, nobody's ever getting on America's land. Like, like, bro, the equipment America has is just insane.
Precision artillery,
This is not gonna
air
happen.
support, and guided munitions, all directed by satellite surveillance and real-time intelligence.
Crazy.
There is absolutely no shot of sustaining an invasion in this case.
You gotta be insane.
Perhaps America's most unique defensive advantage is its civilian population. Specifically, its relationship with firearms.
Yep.
The United States has the highest rate of civilian gun ownership in the world,
Wow.
with 120.5 firearms for every 100 civilians. To put that into
120. Did you say 120 per 100? So 20 more guns than people.
perspective, Switzerland
100.
only has 27.58 firearms for every 100 civilians.
Oh, wow.
This creates a scenario that military planners would probably call a strategic nightmare. It's one thing to defeat a...
Well, yeah, like, put it that way. Like, everybody there. Like normally, like for example, in like war and that, like let's take like Russia and Ukraine for example, right? Well, I don't really know too much about it, but I assume like the military people going in there, the civilians, I don't know, they might be, but the civilians, they're not really going to be fighting as well. You know what I mean? Whereas like you go to America, not only do you have the baddest military on the planet, right? But you also got the civilians as well. And let me tell you, like, they're going to defend their country. So like, you got, how many people in America now? Like 350 million people? I know not everyone's going to be fine, but there's going to be a lot.
Conventional army. It's different to occupy a territory where a significant portion of the civilian population is armed and more than likely hostile. History provides.
Like, put it this way, if the UK got invaded, right? And let's say, like, for example, like, we got invaded by Russia, right? And it's Russia military. Bro, it sounds like military right now because of all the fireworks. I don't know if you can hear them. But let's say the military's outside. I can't do nothing. Like, what am I going to do? Hit it with a teaspoon? Like, what, bro?
Provides sobering examples of what this looks like. The Soviets in Afghanistan, the Americans in Iraq, and various other occupations throughout the 20th century demonstrate that even the world's most powerful militaries struggle against determined civilian resistance.
Right, okay, interesting.
About 72% of American gun owners cite protection as their primary reason for ownership, suggesting a population already mentally prepared for defensive scenarios.
Yeah, good luck.
Then there's the simple matter of scale. The United States covers approximately 3.7 million square miles, making it the third largest country in the world by land area. It is larger than Australia, which has an area of about 2.9 million square miles. The US is more than twice the size of the European Union, which covers around 1.7 million square miles.
Wait, I thought Europe was bigger than that. Wait, the US is twice the size of the whole of Europe? Wait, I thought Europe was the same size. America's is twice the size?
Additionally, the US is roughly comparable in size to the entire continent of Europe, which has an area of about 3.9 million square miles.
Oh, European Union. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, so the country's in the Union, but then it's the same size as Europe. Right, okay, gotcha.
The distances involved are shocking from a military perspective. The distance from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles is about 2,700 miles. In order to sustain any kind of invasion on America, the
40-hour car journey is crazy. It's like a couple hours from the bottom of the UK to the top of the UK. That's insane.
Occupying force would need to maintain supply lines across these vast distances, while facing constant harassment from both organized military resistance and civilian populations. Modern military thinking focuses on quick and decisive actions, because long campaigns can get really expensive and hard to manage.
Right.
Given the vast size of the United States, pulling off a rapid takeover is pretty much impossible.
Not gonna happen.
And keeping troops in place for a long time would cost a fortune.
I'm so sorry, but like I can't get the image out of my head of the civilians fighting the military. I actually think most militaries out there would just struggle to the civilians, not even the US military. I'm just imagining like a load of just Americans, civilians just running at them.
Consider the economic cost for America during the Iraq and Afghanistan campaigns. Both campaigns involved far smaller territories and populations, but still cost the United States trillions of dollars over 2 decades.
Oof.
The scale required to occupy a territory the size of America would dwarf these figures by orders of magnitude.
Yeah, how can you even do that?
Of course, there's one last factor.
Okay, this is the only way. Let's be honest, right? But we don't want this because this is just, it's end of the world type stuff. This is the only way, the nukes.
Nuclear weapons. The United States maintains one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals. An American nuclear doctrine makes it clear that existential threats to the homeland would likely trigger nuclear response. This creates what is also known as mutually assured destruction.
See, I don't like this because you don't... Bro, it sounds like it's happening outside. Yo, a news going up. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear that? Man, I don't know if we're being invaded right now, but Jesus Christ.
Any conventional invasion large enough to threaten American territory would likely escalate to nuclear conflict long before achieving its objectives.
Very scary.
This reality fundamentally changes the calculus for any potential adversary that is thinking about invading America.
Okay.
So, to return to our original question,
It's not
What would
happening.
it really take to invade the United States?
It's not happening.
The answer to that question reveals why no serious military strategist considers a conventional invasion of America a viable option.
Right.
It simply just wouldn't be worth it. But what do you think? Where do you think America stacks up in terms?
I think, let me move to America, because the UK is tiny. Luckily, we have good allies, you know, like America. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, I'd be scared to think about a country invading the UK. Interesting video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.